Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is Unpopular Opinions Part 19. We are past the legal age. We are past the legal age.
No.
I was kidding. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I like to go over Reddit's unpopular opinions, give my opinion on them, and just start a whole conversation. The ones I picked today aren't that, well, I guess this week. I like to go over the ones this week. And the ones we have this week aren't that good. I'm not going to lie. They're kind of mid. I tried picking the best ones, but yeah, they're not that good. So I'm going to have to just make do with what I got. And yeah, fuck it. So the first one, okay, actually, this is a spoiler. This is going to be a spoiler for the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So if you haven't seen it, please skip ahead to the next one. I'll put a timestamp below for sure. So the first one is Deadpool and Wolverine honestly sucked. What made the first two movies unique was how unpredictable they often were, which suited Deadpool's character perfectly, and the comedy remained top-notch the entire time. This one, on the other hand, was very cliche and felt like something you've already watched before several times. Despite the gore, it often felt like a kid's movie that was dumbed down from the first two movies in a huge way. It was very rushed in a lot of areas, and not a single new character felt like it was introduced or understood properly, not even Wolverine. The main villains were somehow extremely dangerous, but even after credits rolled, it felt like I didn't even understand neither of the motives, as if the whole thing was a joke. Deadpool feels like an entire different character than who he was, which I understand is the point of the whole story, but in my opinion, they still didn't do it right. Finally, the comedy this time around was just not it. For some reason, they thought that making the same jokes about Disney Fox while breaking the fourth wall every 10 minutes was somehow hilarious. Sucked, maybe a strong word. It was okay at best. It's definitely not something I'd watch for a second time, unlike Deadpool 2. Okay, so this one has quite a bit. I'm going to say this. I think Deadpool 1 is probably the best one still. Although Deadpool Wolverine was a good, I think Deadpool Wolverine was a good movie. I know some people did complain about like them being that there's a lot of fourth wall breaks. Honestly, I didn't even notice it. I was just having a good time. It's just a fun movie to watch. If you're going there for like a very deep movie, you're not going to get it. It's a Deadpool movie at the end of the day. He says it was very rushed in a lot of areas and not a single new character felt like it was introduced or understood properly. The only one that I can really talk about that is the chick, the bald chick that's Xavier's sister. I don't even fucking know her name. She was very powerful. I'm surprised how they beat her. I think that was just kind of weird. So I will say that's kind of whack. But at the end of the day, it was still a fun movie, and all the characters were introduced pretty well. I think so. You know, when it came to Chris Evans as, you know, Human Torch, when it came to X-23, when it came to Elektra, when it came to Channing Tatum as Gambit, I thought it was all good. You know, I honestly felt it was pretty good, pretty well to understand. It's not that crazy. It's not like a very in-depth story. It's just a fun time. You know, it's fan service. That's exactly what it is. At the end of the day, it's fan service, and if you're a fan, you felt certified. I don't know. You get what I mean. If you were a fan, you got your nuts sucked off. So that's really how I see it, though. So I think this is an unpopular opinion. I think it was pretty good. Okay, so the next one is cursive handwriting shouldn't die. I know, this is a little bit boring, but I mean, come on, dude. I gotta make work with what I got. Okay. Most young people only print or use devices, in my opinion. 100 years from now, most will not be able to read the Declaration of Independence unless it is printed for them, let alone letters, etc. I think this is kind of whack. I'm not a big fan of cursive. I remember trying to learn it. Oh, not trying. I remember they taught us it like in 4th grade. I mean, I kind of know how to write cursive, but I just don't see the use for it. I really don't. This person says in 100 years from now, most will not be able to read the Declaration of Independence unless it's printed for them. First of all, there's people who can't even read the Declaration of Independence now, and they probably know cursive. Also, I think this is a very dumb argument because it's the same thing as language is always changing, language is always evolving. And secondly, this is the same thing with like any form of like art of, what do you call it? Very old forms of writing. An example of that is the hieroglyphs. That is writing for Egyptians, and we couldn't understand it. It's always going to change, you know, like also like nor writing, nor language. Everything's changing over time. So of course we're not going to understand it. So without a doubt, yes, we're not going to understand it in 100 years from now because it's, you know, we just evolved language and all that stuff in writing. So I think this is a very dumb argument. Cursive, I don't see cursive as like I just don't see it as a very viable option. I have no idea what the point of using cursive is. Like, oh, it's fancy, man. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
The only thing I guess you can quote unquote use cursive for is like your signature. I think everyone just uses their, even then like signature is like not really cursive. It's just kind of just making your initials look nice. But yeah. The third one is concerts are awful. I personally find concerts to be absolutely awful for a number of reasons. Actually, I think I went over this one, but fuck it, I'm going over it again. For many venues and halls, they lack adequate seating, so you just have to stand up for 2 hours and get sore feet. Many songs of the bands perform are rather different to the studio versions, and as such, aren't as good as the original versions. For many songs, the fans sing and chant along to them, which stops me from actually hearing what the band is singing and playing, which disrupts and ruins the experience. Why go to a concert when you can see it all on your phone, and it's far, far better too. Yeah, no, that's one thing I agree. I've never been to a concert, so I really can't have too much say on this. I will just say this: concert to me never felt appealing, just because I don't see the appeal in going to a band, standing in the whole crowd and all that shit, just getting all sweaty, just hearing them sing songs that I know are damn well better than if I listen to it on headphones and all that stuff. Also, another thing too, I always find it kind of weird. Maybe this is just me. I always kind of find it weird when there's like a band performing and then, you know, the artist, he like lifts up his mic so that way the fans can sing, whatever. It kind of bothers me when they do it so much. It's like the fans, I get it. I don't know. Maybe it's cool. You know, it probably would feel cool, like hearing a whole bunch of people sing your song. But I'm like, damn, dude, I want to hear you sing that shit, bitch. Like, man, put that microphone back in your mouth, motherfucker. Like, I don't know. That part, I just don't really see the appeal. That part kind of bothers me, where they just keep, you know, shoving the mic to the audience. Like, I don't know. I want to hear them sing, you know. I want to hear their voice. But yeah. Also, I find it kind of goofy when they don't sing like their most popular songs. I feel like that's the best part about being like a singer, is just perform your number one hits. I mean, I would do that, but I think it's kind of whack when they don't do that, you know. But that's just me. All right, and the last one is college should be the norm. I know this is boring too. I'm making do with what I got. Bear with me. Well, actually, hold on. I'm like 6 minutes in. I already got my ad revenue. Man, click off, bitch. Okay. I don't get it. I don't get money. I get some jobs needing college and extra experience, but it is starting to feel like going to college and blowing $50,000 is being described as the only way to go. I get that even if you don't have a college job, it can help you with getting a job either way, but I think at the point you just have an needed or the one and only hallway ticket to becoming an adult, because it is accepted by society and other schools that we need it. Yeah, okay, so this one I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think for sure as time goes on, as technology gets better, we would not need college, because there's just so many different ways to learn. Back then, you had to go to school in order to learn. Nowadays, you can learn through so many things. There's so many programs, different websites, different certificates, and all that stuff. I do think that with technology rising, education is just going to be way easier to get, and I don't feel like college is that viable. Also, another thing is it's just so hard to live. Like I said, everything's getting so expensive. It's just so hard to live. You can have a good degree, but at the end of the day, like, shit does not pay well, and that fucking sucks. I think the worst part about it is that some people are making more than people with degrees, and all they're doing is shaking ass on camera and showing titties, or shaking some dick on camera, showing some butthole. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. That's the worst part about it. So, yeah. Also, another thing too is like, one thing that pissed me off when going through college is like when I was doing my computer science major. Oh my god, I hated how, like, I wish college just gives you like the exact courses you need in order to reach your goal. Because, like, for computer science, they're like, all right, you got to take your government classes. Like, bitch, you got to take, like, they're like, oh, you got to take your politics class. And I'm like, bruh, man, get that shit out of here. I don't know. That was the worst part, dude. Like, taking computer science and they made me take politics. I'm like, man, what the fuck? That shit was whack.
Haha, bro, you don't have to tell me twice.
I hated that shit. I just wish that, like, if you are studying something, they like all the classes you take are exactly for that degree. But no, they're like, oh, you have your English, man. Man, shut the fuck up. No, but yeah, that's really it. Okay, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.